Hi, everyone. As I'm sure you're aware right now of the tragic events unfolding in Israel right now, Israel is at war as a result of Hamas and the terrorist tactics invading Israel through the Gaza Strip. And we wanted to share our thoughts and our prayers with everyone in Israel right now, not only its soldiers who are fighting on the front lines and the reservists that are being called up, but its citizens as well who are sheltering in bomb shelters and wondering what the circumstances are going to be like on a day-to-day basis. It is certainly unfortunate that the beginning of our new season and new episode coincides with this tragic world event, and we certainly don't think that our conversation by any means outweighs that of the larger conversation about Israel's security and the safety of its citizens. But we did just want to share our love and support for those in Israel right now and offer our prayers and thoughts for there to be an end to this violence, certainly a prayer for peace to reign over that entire region, for those who have been kidnapped to return home safely and soundly, and certainly for those who have been traumatized in any way to find healing and to find peace. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Jewish Divorce Project. I'm your host, Noam Rauscher.
And I'm your host, Leeron Tal.
Join us as we kvetch
and kvel about Judaism and divorce from our perspective as two Jewish professionals and two divorce coaches.
and two Jewish parents with lots of experience and plenty of opinions. Well, welcome back, everyone. Welcome to the Jewish Divorce Project. It's certainly wonderful to spend this time with you. I'm your host, Noam Rauscher. This is a wonderful occasion. I'm a little nervous, to be honest with you, because we have big news. As you can hear clearly, we're coming to you with a hyped up production style now. We're no longer on MacBooks. We are now in an actual production studio, and we actually have an actual producer. This wonderful man, Craig, has provided us with his studio. It's this amazing space with this awesome blue light that is just so chill, and a snack machine as well. So, like, I'm in seventh heaven. But if you can also see, we have a visual format. We're now going to be on YouTube. And of course, we're coming out with a new look, a rebrand on social media. And I know it's taken a little bit of time to get out there. But we've hit a snag. But nonetheless, you'll see new podcast artwork and also a new podcast logo. And so, with all the amazing and exciting and wonderful things that are going on with this podcast, between the new sound and the new look and the new producer with Craig and this a wonderful studio, we also have a fantastic new co-host in Leeron Tal. Leeron Tal, welcome to the Jewish Divorce Podcast team, Jewish Divorce Project team and family. Welcome.
Thank you.
You hear that, everyone?
Oh,
That's the type of technology we're now. It's going to feel
my
like
bat
you're at
mitzvah
Laker
grand
games.
entrance.
Exactly. Smoke machines and everything.
Yep,
Dancers. Leeron. So, Leeron, it's good to be here with you now. It really is. We had a wonderful 64-episode run with Sheva. She sends her best regards, and we send her our best regards as well, and nothing but love for her, and she has nothing but love for us. And so we now pass that mantle and that responsibility on to you as being the host with me here on the Jewish Divorce Project. For everyone who doesn't remember, I met Leeron back in episode 63. She was one of our divorce coaches for bar mitzvah, b'nai mitzvah, B-Mitzvah in divorce land. And Leeron has, who of course is divorced, is also a divorce coach, has just gone through a bar mitzvah herself. And so she was sharing her expertise and wisdom with us. Leeron, it's really wonderful to share this space with you now. Admittedly, this is a little awkward because I'm just not used to like such a in-your-face format like this, and we'll get used to it. But I can't thank you enough for helping me put this together right now in this new format and helping us get commercials, which is a new project that we're working on with this whole thing. So Leeron, welcome. It's so wonderful to have you here.
Thank you. What a lovely, warm welcome. I'm so excited to be here. This is my first time really on a podcast other than being a guest. So
Right.
I'm super excited and excited to share my experience and learn from others' experiences and just have some fun.
That's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
and to do some great things as well. Let's get to know you before we start telling people what we hope to do with this podcast, all the wonderful things, the pizza ovens and the school cafeterias. My rabbi used to say, over-promising things. But before we get to that, let's get to know you a little bit for everyone, because that's what's really important here. Again, you were back on episode 63, but now we need to know a little bit more. So let's reintroduce you. Who are you, Leeron? What brings you to us? How has divorce been part of your life? What's your story?
What's my story? Well, I grew up here in LA. Um, and, I basically married the person on paper, right? The person that was good on paper. I grew up in a Jewish home. My parents were Israeli, never was pushed to necessarily marry someone Jewish. But I started working in the Jewish community as a preschool teacher and fell in love with just watching Jewish families grow together. So, you know, I married a Jew who grew up out here, who has Israeli parents like me.
Really, that's simple.
And, 2 kids later, 10 years of being married. That's not all that's important, right? So,
It's history.
yeah, I had a pretty challenging marriage and divorce, and it's been 5 years. And honestly, I was really on my own with the whole process. I didn't know anybody that was divorced. I didn't have any family. We don't have divorce in the family either. So I was really going through the process on my own, not really knowing what to do. And I kept thinking, I wish I had someone who I could talk to that would just tell me where to start.
You're a real pioneer.
Yeah.
Real pioneer.
Yeah. Well, that's why, I'm so excited to be a coach now where I can basically provide the service I wish I had, right? So, one of the things that I think really stands out to me is, we all have those inner voices. We all have those gut feelings or whatever you want to call it. And I really realized that I was negotiating with my inner thoughts, with that inner voice, because it just felt like a negative voice, So it's like when you have those thoughts of like, oh, I shouldn't be here. This isn't the right relationship for me. And you're kind of like, no, think positive. You got to fight for it. So when I finally realized that that's what was happening and really started listening, that's when things became clear. So the boys and I have 2 boys. They're 9 and 13. And we've been on our own for 5 years. Co-parenting has been a learning curve for sure. But I worked in the Jewish community for many years. I was a preschool teacher for many years. I was a director of a synagogue at a synagogue for 10 years as running the early childhood center, always around kind of the business of families and community, building community.
Your kids being 9 and 13 is reflective for me and resonates for me because my kids are the same age.
Yep.
And thinking about how long I've been divorced, which is only shortly, a little less time than you have been. The kids have almost been divorced. I'm going to say this wrong, but like half the time they've been alive, they've been married, and half the time they've been alive, they've been divorced.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
And
my
so,
kids were 3 and 7.
right.
Yeah.
There's some type of more academic way of saying it. I don't know
Yeah.
really what it is, but I think the point is to say is that like they've had a pretty even experience of married life and divorce life, and pretty soon it's going to be they've grown up with divorce more so than they've grown up with married life, and so I'm really curious to know
Yeah, that is
what
really
that looks like,
interesting.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is really interesting. I mean, that's one of the things you and I connected on, right? Like,
right,
we both have 2 boys around the
right,
same age,
right.
kind of a lot of similar challenges there. Um,
It's so funny too how young they seem with my son and his bar mitzvah coming up.
oh yeah.
It's like I don't recall being much older or feeling much older during that whole time. At the same time, like he just seems young, and I think that's the age. I think that's the boyhood. I just it's really. I don't even know that I'm definitely not ready for it. Forget about him being ready for it. He'll do fine.
I'll tell you
I'm gonna
though,
be a
they seem
mess.
young right before the bar mitzvah, but something definitely changes right after. I
I think
mean,
it's the
my son
suit and
like
the
became a
haircut.
man now and
Yeah.
acts more responsible, and it's very convenient for him to say like I'm the man of the house when he wants to, but when it's like do the chores, all of a
Yeah.
sudden he doesn't
Well,
want to be the man of the house. But
right. The bravado. You got the bravado.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so we've got, I mean, I'd love to just share about how I kind of got into coaching because I thought it was,
Go right ahead, please.
yeah.
Tell us.
So during COVID, right? This is kind of a funny story. Funny, not funny. Now I can laugh at it. My divorce officially finalized on March 12th, 2020,
Great timing.
right
Nicely
before the
done.
world shut down, right?
Nicely done.
So we got in there before the
Yeah,
courts
there's a lot of
closed.
people got backed up to make it
Uh-huh.
happen.
Yep. But, here I am waiting for that summer. I had a big birthday that summer.
Hmm.
I was going to have a divorce party and be single, and then I'm stuck at home with my kids and no dating. So
Yeah.
that was fun. But during that time, a lot of, friends of mine and people from the community, I mean, by being a preschool director for 10 years, I knew so many families in the area. Um, Started reaching out to me, picking my brain. My marriage is falling apart. I don't know how to do this. We don't like each other anymore. I was hearing it. It was just insane what was going on during COVID. And I found myself just helping friends. And then I was looking up a book for someone. I was looking up the book on coupling. And I realized that the Sarah Davison, who wrote that book, started a school for divorce coaching. I'd never even heard of divorce coaching. Um, and it felt meant to be because I was in a transition too of what I was going to do with my career. So that was kind of how I got started and was like, oh my gosh, I can make this into an actual job, helping people. This is great. So that's what I've been
Monetize
doing.
it in some way.
Yeah. So that was really my inspiration to starting the coaching. And now I'm just so committed to helping. I've been working mostly with women and really trying to build a community around being a solo parent.
How's that been going for you? What have been like the failures and successes that have gone with it?
Well, I decided to start a Facebook group
Hmm.
because I was seeing so many people posting on all the parent groups. Um, and we reached almost 200 members within like just a few weeks. It was
Hmm.
insane. It was just everybody was just seeking out the help. So
Hmm.
now it's a matter of I'm trying to figure out what everybody wants. We're going to do some support groups, some
Oh, very
social
nice.
events, some retreats. So I'm excited.
It's really interesting how much of a demand there is for community building when it comes to divorce, whether it's in the Jewish community or outside of it. I kept thinking about that when I went to the Jewish Divorce Retreat, which is
Hmm.
coming up again, not only in the Bay Area, but also in the Los Angeles area. But the feeling that you get when you're around all these other people and you don't have to explain yourself is a really wonderful feeling to have. And, to know that, like, I I mean, all we're really talking about are people who have had a shared experience, right? But being around those people automatically just makes it a little bit more of a comfortable environment to be in.
Yeah.
And if you can create that space, then you've made something magical. So I say Mazel Tov to you. That's really wonderful. That's
Thank
great.
you. Well, I think divorce is definitely one of those things that you really don't get unless you've been through it. I'll say
Right.
sometimes you remember when you first had kids? I don't know. I was one of the first for my friends, and my friends that had dogs would compare their dogs to my children. I'd be like, "Oh my God, you don't get it." So I think it's kind of similar.
Yeah, very similar. Dogs to children.
Yeah.
I think I had a friend who did that as well. Wasn't really sure about it. But okay. What else should we know about you, Leeron? What else is really important for people to know about you?
Let's see. Well, I've utilized this time, I think, well, the last 5 years of figuring out who I am and taken up a love of dancing. I love to go out salsa dancing. I love camping with my kids. That was a big one for me we had an RV. I grew up RV camping and then my ex and I were doing that with the kids. When we split up, it got really
Mhm.
rough that I wasn't going to drive that huge hunker. You had to like jiggle the
Right.
thing yeah, it wasn't for me. Um, and my dad, my amazing father, during COVID, as a little secret surprise, built a little trailer just perfectly sized for the three of us. So I've been really happy that I get to take my kids camping, and I feel very empowered that I can do that, teaching my boys that women can do it all. And they've been
Girl
really
power.
stepping it up and helping out. And so that's been really cool.
Leeron, in a moment we're going to take a commercial break, but before we do so, I'm curious. You've had a lot of experience in divorce, and you're going to be channeling it to all your clients. What's been the toughest thing for you about divorce? What's been the best thing for you about divorce?
Oof, that's tough. I guess the toughest thing has been the learning to let go.
Of the
Knowing
marriage?
no, of the control as a parent,
Mm,
knowing that when they go to their dads on the weekends, I really have no say of what's going on over there, what they're eating,
right,
it's
right.
harder when they were little. Now I'm like, "Bye.
Make your own
I need a
choices.
break. Good luck."
Right.
But, I think that was really hard when they were little,
Hmm.
not being part especially during COVID and them
Yeah.
going back and forth, that
Yeah.
was rough. Um, and then you said what was the best thing?
Yeah. What's one of the been best experiences in divorce for you?
Having the opportunity to figure out who I am as a woman. I think that it's almost like a secret little perk you get when you do go through a divorce and you're forced to really look at yourself and be like, who am I if I'm not a mother and a wife? And then if you figure that out and you actually start to fall in love with that person, that's pretty fun.
If you go through divorce and you are the same person you were at the very beginning of it as you are at the end, then I don't believe you are awake to the process.
Yeah.
Can be a monumental experience in your life. It can have meaning and it can have purpose, and it doesn't have to be anything that just happens to you. It could be something that happens for you, and you have to be willing to embrace the experience. And that's a really beautiful story you have. I'm so excited about this journey with you. It's going to be a wonderful one. We'll tell everyone about that journey ahead. But right now, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's actually wonderful that I am. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Action One Plumbing is a family owned business that has been serving the Los Angeles area for over 35 years. The owner, Stephen Alexander, passed away a year ago, and now his wife is running the business. Steve always offered special rates and donations to synagogues and Jewish institutions since the 80s. So we're excited to support this Jewish solo parent business owner. And be sure to call Action One Plumbing when you're having problems with those pipes. Visit actiononeplumbing.com and use our exclusive code JDP25 and get $25 off.
We're back, everyone. And it's wonderful to be back after a commercial break. Again, I'm so like that we have commercial breaks, that God had brought us to this studio and not given us commercial breaks. Dayenu, it would have been enough.
Yeah.
But God has given us commercial breaks. Had God given us commercial breaks and not also given us wonderful commercial breaks to bring to the people of Israel who are
Yes.
divorced,
Yes.
Dayenu, it would have been enough. Craig, just so you know, what we're saying is Dayenu is enough, which is from the Passover story. It's a way of expressing gratitude. So thank you. So welcome back, everyone. Let's talk about all the wonderful things that Leeron and I hope to accomplish with this tugboat of a ship known as the Jewish Divorce Project, which hopefully will upgrade to, maybe a schooner. Is a schooner move faster than a tugboat?
I don't really know.
Do you know anything about that, Craig?
How about jet ski? Can we upgrade to a jet ski? That's my language.
Yeah, I like the idea. It's more hip and
Yeah.
sleek and moves quickly, but
Yes.
still, you're not like gonna even traverse the ocean. You're not gonna sail the ocean, right? In a jet ski. But first, yeah, let's upgrade jet skis. I like that. But we want to, I think one of the things we talked about was getting to know people on a real level, right? Not only the community, the audience, but people locally here or anyone really who feels like they have a story to share. We would love to hear your divorce stories from inside the divorce world and really share that wisdom. And you can be anonymous. You can share whatever you feel comfortable sharing. So it's really up to you, but the idea is really to give people that opportunity.
Yeah, we want real Jews and real stories,
Right.
right? We want to hear the good, the bad, your fun dating stories, or maybe, any kind of message to get across to help.
Dating, sex, co-parenting, finances, therapy, legal, self-care stories, unconventional relationship stories, especially that's getting very big.
Mhm.
If you feel comfortable sharing that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're excited. We have some great experts that we want to bring in, but we're also going to just have some real live people just telling us their stories.
And we also want to make sure that you get to be actively involved in those conversations. So we're going to try to have, excuse me, I should have pressed the cough button. I didn't remember to press the cough button, Craig. I got to. Okay. Good.
Okay.
You don't need to edit it out. It's fine. Go with it. It's okay. It's okay, everyone. I'm alive. I hit the cough button. But we want to so we're going to try to engage better with the Facebook and the Instagram community, either through Instagram lives or Facebook lives. They do Facebook lives, right?
Yeah.
People do things like that. But surveys and also interacting on the platform as well, because we want to get to know the community better, and we also want you to feel that you have a more of an invested stake in the show, and that we're also, we want to hear your questions. And so if you have a story, like an email format that you want us to read, right, because you think it would be helpful for other people, and maybe as Jewish professionals, as divorce coaches, we can respond from our professional perspectives, that would be really helpful, I think, for part of the community. And so we extend that as an open invitation to everyone.
Yeah, and our perspectives might be different coming from, my perspective as a female and
Right.
me as a woman and you as a man. Sometimes we get into these conversations about situations and it's so fascinating how, you said there's more than two points of view, right?
There's always more than 2 points of view in the Jewish community. I mean, just right now between us, I mean, Craig, I don't know if you sense it, but like just between between Leeron and I, there's already 3 opinions. With you in the room, right, that makes it 4 opinions. And if we just think of someone else like my mother, that already means that there's 7 other opinions in the room. So really, what we're talking about, and my math is going to be off from this, I admit it, but that's the way it goes with Jewish opinions. What we're talking about at this moment is about 150 in this room at this very moment. So you might have to set up a couple extra mics and motion sensor cameras. Wonderful. And we're also going to, if we can get our act together with the guests, and I'm sure we will, we'll try to announce them in as advance as possible so that you can ask your questions of them, and hopefully we can ask them while we're actually having the conversations. Hopefully that'll be a wonderful thing we'll be able to do between the community and the guests that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we actually have to take another break.
Agreed.
We have one more sponsor, so we'll be right back.
The folks at Matzo Ball, that's matzahball.org, know dating can be a schlep, so they're making it less schleppy and a whole lot more exciting. They have singles and networking events, and the next one is Matzo Mingle After Work. It's an event on October 18th. Buy your tickets at matzahball.org and use promo code MBOF, that's MMBOFF, MBOF, to get 15% off your tickets.
And we're back. Here we are. So, I'm really excited, actually.
You are?
Because you and I are going to be at the Matzo Mingle.
Uh-oh. I have to go to that.
We're going to be mingling.
So I need a babysitter.
Yeah, we got to get that going.
I'm excited.
We might pop up. We might pop up in town at some events and take some questions on the road. We'll see. I think
that's a good idea, though. I really do. I'm grateful to Matzo Ball for extending this opportunity for us and being at the Matzo Mingle. It's actually going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it would be wonderful if we could do like a live Q&A with some of the folks there.
You know what they're known for is their big party that they do. They call the Matzo Ball on Christmas Eve.
It's not
for all the Jews.
No.
No.
Oh, yes.
I used to go back in the 20s.
This was the thing. Yeah. I remember.
So now they've opened up.
In your 20s. You don't mean in the 20s.
In my 20s. Did I say the 20s?
You said the 20s.
Oh, well, it was a long time ago.
Spoke about it from a past tense perspective. I can okay.
That's interesting.
When you think about it in your head, does it come out as black and white as well?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
That was a messy time.
Joke. Anyway.
I didn't get the joke, sorry.
It's okay. It wasn't a very good one. Don't worry about not getting it. I don't care. I didn't even get it myself. I just said it.
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Craig, just out of curiosity, what it's like at this first recording an episode with us?
I'm really enjoying it.
Oh,
he looks very entertaining.
Are you just being honest?
No, I'm really enjoying it.
Are you just being polite? You're not being honest. You're being polite.
No, I'm enjoying it. I really am.
All right.
Great.
You say that now, Craig. Your dog is friendly now. Pretty soon. Right now he's sleeping, but I know he's Oh, he's gonna get me. Things go south. Okay. Clearly, I'm having a lot of fun with this. This is a new experience for me, and I shouldn't be behind a microphone so often. So, friends, please, again, one more invitation to the community to be part of the conversation that we're putting on over here. You've been wonderful so far. You've been a dedicated group. You've brought new people on, and you've shared us with other people who are looking for divorce support. We're looking to expand that conversation now, so please don't be shy. And in that, let me say thank you to Craig again for this space, and once again, Leeron, it's wonderful having you as part of this team. I look forward to this whole thing unfolding and a wonderful story being written here. So thank you for being part of this endeavor with me.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so
Absolutely.
excited. Get those questions in because that'll help us
Yeah.
with the show, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Craig.
Yep.
And looking forward to the next episode.
Do we need to say anything else? Like, do we?
Up to you guys.
Okay. I think we covered it all.
I think we covered it all. And if anyone wants to send questions and get to know me more, I'll answer them next week.
Okay. I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
We did it. If you're interested in becoming one of our sponsors or have questions and thoughts about the podcast, please email us at TheJewishDivorceProject@gmail.com.
And you can always find us on social media at The Jewish Divorce Project on Facebook and Instagram.
And if you'd like to work with me, I specialize in divorce coaching for women. I can be found at mydivorceconcierge.com and on Facebook and Instagram at mydivorceconcierge.
And if you're interested in working with me for divorce coaching or spiritual coaching, I work with people of all kinds, of all backgrounds as well. My email address is noamrauscher@gmail.com. That's NOAMRAUCHER@gmail.com. And you can also find me on Facebook and on Instagram at Noam Rauscher.